Gormagut Les Corla, Gormagut Era. Just my question today relates to the very firm commitment to increase the range of supports for after-school services and community hubs for children contained within the programme for government. In my own county of Cork and my constituency of Cork North Central, what plans has the Minister to deliver these much-needed services?
Thanks very much. Last Corla, I gather I'm taking PQs 28 and 53 together in this circumstance. Am I correct in that?
Yeah.
From Deputy Devlin as well, or does Deputy Devlin have to be here? You'll have to. He has to be here, does he? Okay, that's fine. Look, thanks to Deputy O'Sullivan for that. I know there's a large demand for high quality, accessible and affordable school-age childcare services. I think this demand is seen in all areas. I know it's seen in my own constituency, and I've no doubt it's seen in Cork City as well. And look, to help meet this demand, the programme for government commits to increasing the range of after-school services in schools and in community hubs. My department has provided support for the development of school-age places through dedicated capital funding, and between 2017 and 2019, over €6 million was awarded in capital funding to assist the creation of new school-age childcare places nationally, and also to make sure that the quality of care was raised. And key to supporting this will be the National Childcare Scheme, and from 2019, school-age childcare can apply and is run through the National Childcare Scheme as well. School-age childcare services registered with TUSLA can now encourage parents to apply for the NCS subsidies of up to €3.75 per hour per school-age child. My department has also published an action plan in 2017 which set out a range of actions to strengthen the provision of after-school school-age childcare, and look, that action plan, it recognises that there are situations where parents cannot care for children outside of a situation, particularly where parents are working. The action plan includes a commitment to maximise the use of schools and community facilities for school-age childcare where the environments are suitable and where there's an agreement between the school patron or the trustee. And in relation to this, the Department of Education and Skills is engaging with schools and encouraging patrons to make their buildings available for this. And finally then, the National Development Plan, obviously it recognises childcare as a strategic priority for Ireland, and I look forward to undertaking further work on this to ensure that funding is made available to expand capacity where there is the demand for that. Okay, thanks, Les.
Thanks, Les Corla. The return of schools has been very welcome, Minister, for many parents who've spent the last 6 months both caring for children and continuing to work. It builds on previous work in reopening the early years and childcare sectors. While this will allow more people to return to work, should they wish to do so, there are still many gaps in provision which need to be addressed, namely the provision of after-school and community services. This is particularly the case for single parents. But by their very nature, many of these after-school and community places are created on an ad hoc basis, with individual facilities offering them when it becomes available. With this in mind, ensuring that parents can afford this service will be vital in increasing the provision of these places. What supports is the Minister developing to support parents in accessing these services when they become available?
Demand for school-age childcare services, and I just did some figures, and I think the vacancy rate is about 4% in Cork City, which is obviously very tight, and that is a clear indication that there is a need to provide more places. And you know, you make the point about the ad hoc development of these services, and to a degree that's right. I think that's why the previous minister brought in the action plan to try and get a kind of a higher level view of where these services were particularly necessary, and how we could take the capital funding, which, as I say, is there and which will continue to be there through the National Development Plan, and direct it in those places, be it for brand new facilities or indeed whether it's ensuring that after the school day that the hall in the school or some other facility in the school could be used for school-age childcare as well, and kind of making sure that schools are a little more flexible, because sometimes schools aren't entirely happy to kind of see that use, and just putting some supports in there for the schools.
Deputy O'Sullivan, you have 1 minute.
Gormagat, and just while you reference schools, in the case of schools, there is a concern which needs to be addressed in the short to medium term. While the Minister of Education has confirmed that this opening is intended to support the reopening of schools or after-school services, it is likely that many schools who might provide space for such a facility may not do so this year, given public health concerns. Is the Department actively engaging with schools who have previously provided after-school services to ensure that these places, where safe to do so, are providing places which have previously been available and encouraging them to increase spaces where appropriate too?
Thank you, Deputy O'Sullivan.
Thanks, Deputy. Well, look, where it is safe to do so, there's absolutely no reason why a school should cease the, I suppose, giving permission for the use of their facilities for school-age childcare after school. There's absolutely no reason, so long as all public health guidelines are maintained. And I think that the availability of that childcare is really important. And look, I've said it very regularly. We have been very successful, certainly over the summer, in reopening childcare facilities. We got to about 94% of what was normally open last summer. We're in the process now of schools restart, of the kind of the wider opening of childcare and the HA services as well. So, Deputy, I'll definitely commit to keeping a very close eye on this. And if it is a phenomenon we see building up, we'll definitely act on it. And if there are specific instances, I'm happy for you to bring them to my attention.
Thank you very much. The next question.